All right, welcome everybody. This is the last panel of the day. Stoked for everybody to come out here. We have a really good group of guests for the PFP Movement up on stage tonight. Pretty much how we're gonna do it is I'm gonna ask a series of questions and we're gonna run down the list of panelists and it'll come back to me and we'll just keep rolling. Is everybody ready to get started?
Let's go!
Let's do it.
Yeah, all right. Cool, well, starting first to my right, we have Yam and Ralph with World of Women. Could you tell us a little bit about your project, how'd you get involved, and what's the future of it?
Hello, okay. So I'm Yam and this is Raph. I'm the artist and co-founder of World of Women, which is a collectible project of 10,000 NFTs about women empowerment, diversity, and inclusiveness.
Yeah, and I'm Raph. I'm one of the co-founders. We're four co-founders. We did that with Yam, who's the artist, and it's been 4 months now. It's a successful project, I believe, and we're super happy to be here.
Awesome, and let's go to our right with Preston from Daz 3D.
Hi, I'm Preston. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for Daz 3D. We have the technology and the tools to take PFP JPEGs, rig them into 3D, and bring them to the rest of the metaverse. So like animation, mocap, TikTok, video conferencing, that's what we do. We just helped launch Artifacts Clone X today. So that had a primary of over $100 million. We also are helping revive some collections like Evolved Apes, where they had the rug pulled out from under them. And we're also launching our own collection of hyper-real, very, very high utility, like utility you've never seen before, project for, it's called Non-Fungible People, and it's launching next month.
Awesome, and David from Dope One.
Hey everybody, like you said, my name is David. I'm with Dope One Alpha. We're an NFT collection that's helping artists realize their dream through the use of PFP NFTs in the context of, we took an artist that was quite, I guess, impacted by the bureaucratic structure of big organizations. We gave them the opportunity of owning their audience, of owning their art, of owning their vision to what they want to build. But it's a pleasure to be speaking in front of you guys today.
Awesome, and we have a new panelist. I actually don't have your name if you want to introduce yourself and your project.
Awesome. I'm Pablo Stanley. I didn't come as prepared with all like, oh my God, like I was hearing you, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I know what to say. I'm Pablo Stanley. I'm from artist from Robotos, and it's a PFP, it's a PFP project that of like little doodles of robots, and it's a big community of around 5,100 people, oh my God, and of 10,000 little robots. So it's a really cool little PFP project of amazing people, family-friendly, inclusive PFPs, and that's it.
Awesome, and last, Andrew.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Andrew Wang. I'm one of Pablo Stanley's 5,100 Robotos holders. I'm the owner of a bunch of Cool Cats, Upside Down Cool Cat, and actually Klon, the artist from Cool Cats, his flight got delayed, so I can say this. People think I'm the artist for Cool Cats, which is not true, but since he's not here right now, he's whatever, feet in the air. I'll take it. But yeah, I do a lot of writing about the space, love doing community building. For me, PFPs are so much at the core of that, so I'm excited for this conversation.
Awesome, let's give it up for our panelist. Cool, for most that don't know, if you probably do if you're here, but if you don't, PFPs is profile pic projects. It's a genre of NFTs that have completely exploded this year. This is something we're covering heavy tonight and a lot of conversations this week at Art Basel Week. So we'll just kind of go down the list and kind of ask each founder what do they believe are the future of PFP projects. So we'll start with World of Women and Yam and Ralph.
Well, our project is very much about women empowerment and making minorities visible in this space. And we started it actually early in June because Yam felt like, why, Raph, all the collectibles you have, why are they all like looking like men, even though they're apes or dogs or cats? and that was the idea behind it. And we think there are going to be more and more women-oriented projects going on. And since World of Women, we think there's already a lot more women-focused project that's been happening. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that more and more are gonna happen and develop, and I just feel like we're gonna see way more women present in this space, because right now a lot of them are hiding, but they're there, and yeah, I think that it's gonna be exciting times in the future of NFTs for women and minorities.
Awesome.
So I couldn't agree more. I think that the future of PFPs will be mission-driven, and they will have utility according to that mission. At DAZ, we've been around actually for 20 years. We've been doing avatars and 3D content for a long time, and we provide content to all the major game engines, animation, streaming. And we also have a hyper-real, a collection of 8,888 women and non-binary project coming out in December. And so we're completely aligned, and it will have the ability to use in your Zoom meetings. It will be able to go into video games. It will be able to do, you can do mocap on your TikTok. So we're really excited about that. We think it's a good mission, and having utility is what we think the future will be.
Awesome.
I don't want to sound like a parrot here, but utility is the new frontier of PFP. Gone are the days where you can release a crappily drawn art with no real use case and become a successful community. I think right now everybody, especially in the PFP space, are navigating towards, first of all, increasing the fundamental quality of the art you're producing, but you're also having these incredible use cases across the globe, whether it be exclusive event access, whether it be games, gamification, whether it be just the fundamental concept of receiving royalties. The PFP ecosystem is transitioning towards a much more sophisticated market dedicated to making NFT PFP the new frontier of NFTs. That's, again, my theory, but on the basis of the market's no longer accepting those that aren't following along, those that aren't evolving, those that aren't building. So I'm very, very excited to see what future use cases we're going to have. But most importantly of all, I'm excited to see what kind of societal and social benefits we can do with such an incredible piece of technology.
For me, well, PFP projects are, right now, they represent a community. They represent what you believe in, something you belong to. They represent the kind of people you associate with, and this is the basis of what I think it's going to keep evolving on, like on the community, on their values, on what they believe in, and then the things that they want to create. For example, in Robotos, Robotos was in a way almost just a canvas. Just a canvas for people. These are just little characters. If you just see them objectively, they're just characters of robots. They're really simple. But with that simplicity came the creativity of the people, what they wanted to put on that. We gave them this starting point, and then people now are creating their own stories. They're creating their own worlds with this. And like, how is it going to evolve in the future? It's going to evolve with like what the community dictates, what they think that is the future of this project, what the Robotos are, what the Cool Cats are, like, because they put their own values into it. So, and what this is this their own microverse, their own metaverse? Is this going into their own government or their own little thing? I don't know. But it's all going to be driven by this community and their values and their beliefs. And I'm excited about that, because in a way it's seeing like how people like are building their own way of the future. They're deciding my beliefs are being put into this PFP project, but it's not just the picture, it's really what it represents behind and all the people that are there. And I don't know, that's what I believe.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to challenge the point about utility becoming bigger for PFPs. I think lately we've seen a lot of things with utility. We've seen a lot of the tech being leveraged in more interesting, more exciting ways than when we first had PFP start like half a year ago. I think for me, what's interesting about what's changing in the ecosystem with utility plus PFPs is I still think the best ones are in service of a really low-tech problem that we have in society in general, which is people feeling disconnected from one another. In like a very simple way, right? At least in America, there's that stat where the average American only has one close friend. And if you see people who go to counseling, right, and you ask them, why do you go to counseling? And you keep digging deep, you find out that the dominant reason by far is loneliness, right? You see the kind of erosion of various institutions in America that bring people together, hence like why we have crypto in the first place, to try to address that with decentralization. I really see PFP projects starting to try and fill that gap to really bring people together, right? The fact that like I found like 10 Bored Apes and Cool Cats and Robotos and Creatures, and like we just got a house together in Miami. Like we've never met in person, but we feel comfortable doing that because we were brought together by these projects. I think if utility's in the service of multiple things, but particularly that's what I'm really, really excited about. I think it's gonna be really great for onboarding as well, if we can solve that issue. Just to make people feel like, hey, if I'm a part of these projects, then I feel like I have a new kind of social world where I feel really close to people. We trust each other, we care about each other. That's honestly what I'm excited about. Belonging.
Yeah, awesome. So, a lot of people still don't really understand NFTs and their purpose. A lot of people still compare them to JPEGs or just another kind of crypto fad. Can you either make the case for them or against them to the people that still don't really get why NFTs have any value and they're any what better than just a JPEG? And we can just go down the line.
Well, an NFT is a digital asset that is unique and cannot be replaced by anything, so that makes it very valuable on its own. It's not like a JPEG. I mean, for me, that is very obvious now because I've been into it for a while, but I think that that's kind of a straightforward definition of it. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, of course. I actually agree a lot with what you said, Andrew, that with World of Women, I keep getting back to it because it's what I know. Sorry, since we did World of Women, we're only very focused on that. We don't look so much at other projects. So sorry if it sounds very self-centered. But I completely agree with what you said as well, Pablo. Like, if you buy into an NFT project, it's like you become an investor in some values that you share. And you can't invest in values anywhere else than with NFTs. So you believe this value is going to skyrocket, and you just hang on to it. You put your money into it, and if it goes the way it should, then you're gonna make it with it. Basically, it's a way to invest in values. I like to see it like that.
Sure. So I just have 2 points to make on the NFT. Let me ask a question to start with. What did you do when you got up this morning? You put your clothes on, you chose the clothes, you chose what you accessorize yourself, you maybe if you drove here, you own a certain car. I would say the PFP and the NFP, in particular for PFPs, it has to do with digital identity. How do you represent yourself? What community are you part of? In some ways, if you're rocking a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk, how are you flexing? Like, how are you showing it's like the new version of your Birkin bag or your expensive shoes or things like that? It's so. And I'm not saying that's what you're trying to promote, but I'm just saying that the way you kind of identify yourself, a lot of it has to do with your PFP in the digital world where we're spending more and more time on, or in the metaverse. The second point I just want to make on the utility side, just to clarify, I absolutely agree it will be your community. It's mission driven. If you're in a gaming community and you're like, hey, I want my identity and my profile picture to be played in a game, that's the community you're part of. If it's like, hey, I want to be talking on a business conference call and this is how I want to represent myself digitally as an avatar, that's kind of the community you're part of as well. So I just wanted to clarify that point.
For sure. I think that's very, very true in the context of you can always replicate JPEGs, but you can never replicate communities. In the same context that the Mona Lisa that you take a photo of on your phone is not worth the same amount of money the Mona Lisa actually is, authenticity matters in the community that you're involved with, in the utility that you have access to, but lastly, the concept of ownership. right? Same with counterfeit goods. In the context of buying a fake LV bag wouldn't necessarily bring you the same benefits as a real one. The NFT ecosystem, in a big kind of strike against it from the average person, is the fact that why can't I take a screenshot of this and re-upload it, right? The whole perspective on this is authenticity. Like we said earlier on, NFTs are much more than just the photo they represent. It's the community, it's the social impact, it's the utility. You can't replicate that, you can't counterfeit that. And I think the perspective on NFTs is the fact that we're releasing 5,555 characters that are looking like these skulls, but in you taking a photo, you can't replicate the community that we've built. You can't replicate the utility that we've built. And by that regard, I think the value and the intrinsic value of NFT comes from the added benefits of NFTs as opposed to just the NFTs itself.
Yeah, I think I agree with like what everyone is saying. It is not just the JPEG. It is not just a PNG or GIF. It's belonging to a community and it's being part of something. But also sometimes it can be that. It can be just the art, and it can be that you are getting this JPEG because you want to support the artist, because you want this artist to thrive, and you're saying like, hey, I want you to keep creating these things. And as a collector, I'm going to collect this, but it's not just something that goes in my wall. It's also because I'm investing in you. I'm investing in you, a creator that keeps making these things and keeps bringing culture and keeps creating stories and keeps making beautiful things in the world and keeps sharing those things with others and making our humanity better and more beautiful. So it can also be just a JPEG, because I like the JPEG. I like the art. And that can be your choice as a collector. That can be your choice as that. So it can be all the utility too, like some projects are like that. But we should also support the other artists that just want to keep creating. And that's a utility. The artist is the utility, if you want to see it that way.
Yeah, so when I came here like half an hour ago, I got a couple compliments on my shoes, and you know they're kind of nice shoes, right? And like some of some of my friends in the NFT space know that there's kind of like a joke behind these shoes. So whenever we play like basketball with the NFT people, like I'm always wearing them because it's so much better if you cross somebody up wearing YSL boots. But the reason I say this is because you can see how it is, right? It's a strap. You take the strap off, and then you have this big chunky thing. And I got this a long time ago when I was like, I need to put myself out there a little bit more. Before I did NFTs, my friends kind of made me feel bad for wearing this. They're like, oh, it's kind of feminine. You know, it doesn't really fit you. But then it started fitting me in the NFT space because at NFT NYC, I went to the Creature World inflatable bouncy house party. And I absolutely mangled my ankle trying to race a friend in the bouncy castle. And I found out that this shoe works so well as a brace because you could tie it around my ankle. Like my ankle is still completely fucked up right now, and like I can barely jog. But it's like a constant reminder of that. And I think throughout my NFT experience, this was something that was really like normal, profane, whatever. And it kind of becomes sacred over time. And it's the same way I feel about certain PFP projects. You know, my first big PFP was when I bought the rarest cool cat. That was my first kind of foray into NFTs. I emptied out my bank account completely to buy that one. I took it to like $14. And the reason was because I went to the Origins channel of his Discord and I read about his story of being a struggling artist, giving up on the project and finding new life again when he woke up one day and realized that he could redo it as NFTs. For me, I was a really struggling writer at the time, and I saw myself in that artist. And this was before we really understood utility at all. And I think utility can be amazing now with things that you do, right, when it's mission driven. But for me, I was like, I see myself in this artist. I see him going after the dreams that I need to have the confidence to go for as well. So I need to support this artist, and I need to do everything I can because it's also something deeply personal to me. So I definitely feel what Pablo's saying. Like, there's so many ways to get into this.
Awesome. And that kind of brings us into our next question, which is related to NFTs normally have a lot of like social good attached to them. You know, they normally support some type of artist, some type of community, some type of social cause. And other sides of crypto don't typically have that type of social cause. I think a lot of the reason is because it's normally generated around an artist, and there's a lot more personal connection with NFTs. So how important is the artist behind an NFT project? Or is the community more important, or how do you view that in your eyes as founders?
Well, I'm going to speak first, but the artist stands right beside me. And from my point of view, as a co-founder, but not the artist, I feel like everybody believes that the artist is the key. The artist is the key. If there's one founder that should be on stage, it's the artist. And for us, it's even more important because Yam empowers and she represents what's about the project, which is about women empowerment and being underrepresented. Right now, I'm talking with 6 men here, and she's the only woman. And yeah, so maybe you should talk about it a little bit, Yam. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, for our specific case for World of Women, I feel like me as the artist is very meaningful to the whole reason of why the project was born on the first place, because it was born out of a need that I saw in the space, out of something that I felt was missing for me and for people like me. And so I feel like the entire project is kind of a piece of me, right? So for me, it's like really hard to separate both things and say, no, this is just a project and here I am as an individual. For me, it's like my baby. It's my soul, you know, it's what I stand for. And I think that at the end, that with a strong community is like perfect. I mean, the community will stand for what you believe in and what your project is about, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I couldn't agree more. So my company's been around for 20 years, and we provide free 3D rendering software. And so we have 10 million plus users of the software for artists to create art. And they use it for anything like creating animations, to create a lot of the virtual influencers, use our software and our content. So our actually core mission as a company, and we're still a small company, under 100 people, is to enable and support the creator and the artist community. So I would say everything we do has the artist and creator in mind. The second thing I would say is we've done a number of NFTs, and even in our other businesses that we have, we always have an element of social cause. Every NFT drop we've done, whether it was we've done things for Coca-Cola and brands, it's always had an element of social good. We're going to donate to one of them that when I first joined was like Stop Asian Hate. We did with a virtual influencer. Another one is for the Special Olympics. The one we're going to be dropping next month, it's going to be going for help women in tech. It's going to be for mental health and also some animal rescue, because one of the celebrities and we also are very aligned with those missions. So I think that both the artist and the social cause are super, super important.
I think I would like to also introduce the fact that helping the artists actualize their vision is a social cause in its own. It is unfortunately not as incredibly cool as increasing women representation in this industry that it's in dire need of. However, in the same concept of you're helping people realize their dreams, there are a lot of artists out there that are bound by bureaucratic structures restricting their capacity to be creative. Imagine if you had an idea that you wanted to create, but because your boss says you can't, well, that project's dead in the water. What NFTs give people the opportunity to do, and what they give artists across the globe the opportunity to do, is to make money from what they're passionate from, make money from what they want to make into reality, but more importantly, to take their passions and make it into a reality. And I think that's extremely powerful by the context of you're helping artists actualize the visions they've had since they were in grade 12, in the university, even when they were as a kid. So the fundamental concept of NFTs helping realize dreams, I think that's the most incredible social impact there is. In the concept of now you have artists that are significantly happier with the fact that they had this idea that they turned into a project that turned into reality, and now they can support their family, the things they're passionate about, the charity causes that they want to support. But there's just so many societal goods that are attached to the fundamental concept of helping people actualize in some way, shape, or form. And I think NFTs are extremely powerful in that regard.
Hello. The question was like, how important is the artist behind the PFP project? Yeah.
Yeah, essentially the question is, for an NFT project, really, what's the most important aspect of it? Community, the chain it's on, the artist, and the social cause attached to it.
I think as the artist of a PFP project, I can say that I am the most important thing in the project. No, I think I mean every PFP project is different. I want to believe that yeah, like the ones who have an artist attached to them have the bigger chance of success, as we can see here with the clone, also with World Women, with Cool Cats, and when you can see the artists and their vision and being realized, it's. I would say that even as an investor, you want to also support the artist and also support this vision. Now I'm going to speak as the artist, as someone who is in a collection, and for me, it's the art. For me, the art and this idea and this vision just adapts over time. So for me, the most important thing is the people around, the people that inspire me, the stories that spring from the community. So for me, the community and the team are the most important things. As like the artist, I will say that. Because they keep me inspired, they keep me creating, and also the art, like I see that I am not the only artist. I see how others are also using that creative side that maybe it was dormant inside them. Because we have this myth that creativity is exclusive to the artist, to this mythical creature that can do beautiful things. And I don't like that idea. I think that creativity is inside all of us, and we just need an excuse to bring that creativity out. And it is not just for this mythical artist creature. For me, it's all of us are just waiting for that opportunity to create something. And I see it in Robotos, and I see it in other communities where people are creating their own stories. They're creating their own drawings. They're like, grab that PFP and then they create a world around it. And they, for me, I see that I'm not the only artist in this. There are all of these 5,400 people who are using their creativity in a way that they potentially have been waiting for a long time. So for me, as the artist inside it, I feel blessed and I feel humbled by all the creativity that exists there. And I go back to saying it's the community and the team who are the most important thing, and their values and what they believe in.
Yeah, we get it out. So for myself, I think of artists as creators of the highest order. They really are like alchemists, right? They can create gold out of nothing, something out of nothing. And I think in the NFT space, something that's been so amazing is knowing that, not only can creators collect, but collectors can create. Kind of the same way with like the story about my shoe. Like I've always owned it in the same way I own a lot of NFTs, but there's owning it kind of as a holder, just owning it, and then there's owning it. Like there's like really owning it. I think an amazing example is we have Vinny Hager in the audience right now. He has a project called Letters, and he has a kind of little contest community thing going on right now where people are doing derivatives of Cool Cats X Letters, right? They're putting it together in incredibly fascinating ways. And when you see that, you see how two projects that spawn separately help create so much more creativity in the entire ecosystem, right? So it makes me think, right? Maybe some of these artists were unknown before, or maybe they were dormant before, but now they're creating. Like you kind of have to. When you get that feeling in the space, that's like, I collect, sure, but I have to create. right? Maybe it's drawing, illustrating, painting, or building community, providing value through Twitter, ideas, text, speaking, audio. You get this feeling that's like, I have to do something with it because I owned it before, but now I have to really own it, right? It has to become a part of myself, because then, that possibility is there all of a sudden, right? There's not the same kind of gatekeeping as before, like, hey, I need to exhibit in these galleries, et cetera, and then I'm ready, right? It's like, so many of us spend our lives sitting in our chairs, and we're like, at a certain point, we're gonna get that moment of explosion, right? Somebody's gonna buy out our work or take a huge chance on us, and then we're gonna be ready. Sometimes it does come, but oftentimes it comes too late, and then you try to get up from your chair and you're like, oh shit, my knees are messed up because I spent so long sitting in this chair. I think what's so great about NFTs, it's like, do it now, right? All you have to do is to collect a few things, turn it into something amazing, because now that you own it, you have the chance to really own it. I think one of my favorite pieces is one of my friends, he has a 5-year-old daughter, and he was like, hey, I showed my daughter your OpenSea profile, and she drew this for you. And it was a little thing that just said, go Andrew, never give up. And she drew like a dead fella, she drew a cool cat, she drew a Roboto. Even some of the junk that I got sent, like as scams that were just floating in my profile, she drew those too. And I was like, you know what? If that helps her become a creator, then amazing, we've done our job.
All right. Well, this panel went by very quickly. We have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, so we're going to do a hot show round. Everybody's got about 20 seconds to show your project. We'll give it up for the first day of DeCentralCon, the last panel of the day. I'll go first real quick. I'm Digital Lawrence. Thank you guys for having me. I'm with NFTY Labs. You can see our video looping. Essentially, we built a Web3 ticketing gate, really cool project. Just scan the QR code. You'll learn more. Don't have much time. So let's go through and show.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for everybody listening and for the amazing panelists. I'm Yam from World of Women, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll be very brief. Thank you for moderating. Thank you for the other panelists. I'll say, I think all the NFT projects have been amazing. The PFP projects here. I work for DAZ 3D, so we help other PFP projects, do things that they want to do. And we also have our own project called Non-Fungible People. Check it out. It's going to be launching mid-December.
Awesome. I'll also keep this short so we can go do fun stuff like eat food. But anyways, my name is David. I'm the strategy and marketing lead at Dope One Alpha. We're releasing 5,555 Scala people, like the ones on my shirt over here. We're basically hoping of implementing 3 different use cases: an incoming play-to-earn game, a graphic design novel that I'll launch every month, and lastly, exclusive event access across Asian Pacific and North American EDM and music festivals.
Hello, I'm Pablo Stanley from Robotos, and you can go to robotos.art. Is that what we're doing? And yeah, just join our Discord, smash that subscribe button, and yeah, thank you so much. It's just thank you everyone for here, for having us. It's so cool to meet all of you, and yeah, let's keep having party all the week. Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah, I have nothing to show. They said we had to bring the energy, so I want to do my longest let's go ever for this crowd. So you can join me, or you can just embarrass me, it doesn't matter. But 3, 2, 1, let's go!
That's pretty good. All right, guys, thank you. We're going to head out to the after parties and things like that. Give it up for our panelists one last time, and everybody have a great night.